You now are listening to the audio podcast of Prisoners of Hope, the antidote to what ails your heart. I'm your host, Dr. Deborah Whitson. So come on in, pull up a chair, and open up your mind as you get ready to receive the download that hope will bring. Well, hey, it is a good day, and welcome to part 3 of my talk with Dr. Deborah Brazeal, her pathway. Enjoy. So many miracles.
Yeah.
Your thought to put your seatbelt on in the last minute.
Yeah. I would have and by the way, the paramedic said you would have been dead if you had not put your seatbelt on.
Mm-hmm.
He said you would have gone through the windshield and you just wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
So and look, before I even put the start the car, my seatbelt is on these days,
Right.
But you
Yeah,
know
but that's
how
when we were young and we
that's
thought it
right.
would kill us.
Yeah, we didn't think anything about it. No, it wasn't like I
Right.
never put the seatbelt on. It was
Yeah.
just like I might put it on a mile down the road while I was
Right.
driving,
While I'm
Like, oh
driving
my gosh, I
on the
forgot,
10 freeway going 100 miles an hour.
Right.
Yeah. Wow,
For real.
Deborah, there are just so many miracles, and some of them you haven't mentioned, but I miracles happen every day. You guys, I do you guys see the pathway? Do you see it, Deborah, yourself? Do you see how God intervenes?
I see multiple pathways, and I
Yeah.
think that, just doing this podcast with you, Deborah, has been so illuminating to me. It's made
Hmm.
me even more grateful,
Hmm.
because one miracle will lead to another, and then I'm having these memories that I haven't really thought about,
Hmm.
and it reminds me to be grateful, right, and to
Hmm.
have gratitude, and to slow down enough to see the pathways, and I think that and I teach this stuff, right? The first step to be creative is to slow down.
Yeah, right.
Um, and I have to, I laugh because one time I told my girlfriend, I have to force myself to slow down and relax. And she said,
Hmm.
You realize that makes no sense whatsoever, you know, forcing yourself. And she always
Well,
cackled over that,
Well, my church, they did. It's funny you said that because I'm in a local Bible study, and my
Yeah.
church, they're doing the Sabbath. I think they do it once a month, or I'm always like not knowing is happening. I don't know if I'm not paying attention to the minister or what, but and so the first Sabbath, they went around the room afterwards, and they said, "So what did you do the Sabbath?" They're like, "Oh, I went on the mountaintop. I went fly fishing. I did this." They got said, I worried about the fact that I was not keeping this. I was
Exactly.
worried. And then they were all like, yeah, you're right. I said, no, you don't understand. That's all I did.
No, Deborah, we
I
are
would
so
sit
much
there and go,
alike
am
in
I
so many
relaxing?
ways.
I don't think I'm relaxing. I'm not relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, that's why we ran all those years,
Yes.
right? It was to calm the nervous system. I mean, I had to literally wear myself out
Right.
physically, you know,
Right.
right? And of course, that's that's what I mean, Jesus was able to find solitude. I'm watching The Chosen.
Oh,
And, oh my
right.
gosh, I just love it. I can't believe
That
I
is what.
haven't watched it before now, and
Oh, wow. It's neat. But
oh
the
my
season
gosh,
4 is going to be hard. I'm not looking forward to that.
it's gonna be
Hard.
yeah, it's gonna be like The Passion of the Christ,
Yeah, see, I never could watch
hard to
that.
watch.
That's hard to watch.
I
Yeah.
watched it,
Yeah.
but, it just made me cry. It also made me angry, you know, even though I know he came to die, like, his
Mhm,
purpose was to die.
mhm,
But, you look at him being beaten by the Romans and,
mhm,
oh my gosh, you just want to
mhm.
intervene somehow. Yeah, but
Well, I like it because it gives me grace, Peter was
yes.
crazy because 'cause I'm like Peter.
I know.
Uh, Matthew Matthew seems like he was on the spectrum.
He seems OCD to me. Yeah.
He's OCD. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he does. But I kinda love him for it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, he's OCD. And Peter can't stand Matthew.
oh, yeah, yeah. But then they're alike, right? In some way,
Yeah.
they have something in common there, and, yeah, and Peter's the hothead, you know.
Yeah, Peter's the hothead,
Uh-huh.
so I relate to Peter because he jumps and then starts thinking.
He's awesome. I mean, they're such a motley crew, just like
Yes,
us.
they are. They are.
And, yeah, the characters really come to life in
Yeah, I
that.
really like the Passions. For those of you who haven't been watching it, it's Angel Productions, and you can go to
Mhm.
angel.com. I'm not affiliated with them, but you can actually see it free in app. You can podcast it to your television. If you have Roku, there is a, Angel Production channel, so that's where you can see it. It's
Yeah,
awesome, so
it's so
well
worth it.
well, Deborah, I really wanted to thank you unless you wanna oh, you forgot one story. This is a recent one. What
Okay.
about the walk on the path? The black animal and then the other
Oh,
animal.
the snake? Oh god.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'm a big hiker and runner, just like Deborah,
Mhm.
and, another thing we have in common, and,
Yeah.
I love to hike at Crystal Cove. It's just a beautiful canyon,
Mhm.
and I was hiking, oh, several months ago back in the fall, and, so I it's not unusual for me to see rattlesnakes. It was a warm day, and I saw one ahead of me, and, I just let it make its way across the path, and it wasn't leaving anytime soon, so I was just waiting for it to go ahead and crawl across the path, and I heard this noise, and, I couldn't figure out what it was. It sounded like insects, like a lot of bees or something, and I
Mhm.
was looking off into the distance and thinking, "What is that?" Just out of curiosity, and I didn't move my feet, I was just still and looking, and I finally looked down, and it was a huge black rattlesnake coiled up, and it was less than a foot from my feet, and I looked down at it, and it looked at me with these little beady snake eyes, and I mean, I have never who has looked into the face of a snake? I mean,
Me.
you have, that's another thing,
Yes,
but
we have that in common.
that's another thing, oh my gosh, but I had never, you see them by the side and, there it was. Well, of course, I got away from there. I don't know what I did. I don't know if I turned around or I crept away or whatever, but I was horrified. And to think, and its mouth was a little open. And I know that, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I know that Jesus did not let that snake strike me. So,
Mhm.
I mean, think about it.
Mhm.
That snake was rattling really loud for a while before I even saw it or figured out it
Right.
was right there. It was all coiled up, it was ready, it was very agitated, and I'm not afraid of snakes really, but, it did take me a little bit of time to recover, and it finally it did, and finally, they both made their way across the path, and, then, I continued about my way, but I was shaken
Mhm.
by
Mhm.
that experience, and, it was but I knew it was God,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
sometimes snakes that are that close to you strike and they don't even warn you.
Yeah, they don't even warn you, yeah.
They don't even warn you, and if that snake had not, definitely I would have been struck, and
Mhm.
the canyon is such that, um, they
That's
would
where
have
we
had
went hiking, right? That's where we
that's
went.
where we went hiking. I mean, they would have had to have called in a helicopter or something, I don't know, because you
Mhm.
can't walk and let the poison spread, and
That's
there's
right.
nobody out there. I mean,
Right.
you hope
Right.
your phone works, I guess.
Yes.
Right?
And
Um,
sometimes it does, in some parts of the canyon it
yeah.
doesn't, so Yeah. Well,
Sometimes it doesn't.
it's so interesting, the intertwining, because before I retired, remember my snake story?
Yes.
Before I retired, okay, I was chair of the department. For those you don't know, every department has like a head, a chair. They're not really the boss. They kind of direct their middle management. Okay. So I was middle
Yeah.
management, and I was getting ready for the old management to come back because I was just a temporary in. So I usually hit campus by 4 in the morning. Deborah know I used to come there early. And
That's
it
why I
was
never saw you.
early, early in the morning because I couldn't stand the traffic in LA. It could take you 20 minutes to get there or 2 hours. It depends on what time you leave. So I would leave early. And so it's late at night. It's 10 o'clock at night. And I'm trying to clear out my office because the old chair is coming back. And I walked to my car and I had one of these stupid cars that you don't need the key. So I had left the key in the office. Okay. And I'm like,
Yeah.
God. So I'm like, I have flip flops on. It's summertime. It's Pomona, Cal Poly sits like in a canyon. There's a lot of animals on that campus.
Yes.
There is a
Yeah.
lot of animals on that campus, and especially at night. And I was walking and I flip flop, 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 and I had a bag. And the noise, you're right, the noise is very distinctive. This noise, I heard
Mm.
it on the way, and when I came back, I was like walking, and they cut all that grass down because it used to be that
Mhm.
wispy grass,
Mhm.
you know. And I was walking and I heard this, and I stopped my cadence, and this snake flew over my head
Oh
down
my
the other.
gosh.
I mean, if I wouldn't have stopped my cadence, he would hit me right in the neck.
Oh,
I mean, it
Deborah.
was, and then that's where Deborah and I are different. At I'm real scared of snakes. I won't even watch them on TV. I I
Not anymore
I'm
anyway.
like Indiana Jones. Ooh, I hate snakes. And so that was I had told her about that because I had asked God, "So give me a sign if I should retire or not." And I'm like,
Oh
"That's
my
my
gosh. That was your snake story. I love it. Yeah, I remember that. But look, if I had one flying in the air, Deborah, I would not. I mean, I didn't keep my cool when it was by my feet, but in the
Oh,
air,
I
no, no. That's way
well, they
worse.
can leap. They can leap."
Yeah.
And he leaped, I mean, literally, I saw his fangs cross my face, like,
Oh, Deborah.
and then down, because evidently, he had a well, she had a nest in there because they had to come and
Uh-huh.
clear it out, they told me, and evidently, it was mad when I had passed before. Click, click,
Yeah, you
right.
agitated it.
Then I
Yeah.
came back, click, click, click,
Mhm.
and then yeah, because I had all these bags and plastic bags, we carry our books and crap in plastic
Right.
bags, and it's rumbling, but this rumble sound you're right, a snake what rumble is different. You're like, "Okay,
It's
that's a
yeah,
different
I
sound."
it is a different sound, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
there's one other thing I wanted to say,
okay.
that, was gonna talk about around the time we're talking about Marty. Um, so I mean, just to give everybody hope,
Yeah.
too. But I did survive all of that. I'm here. It's been 7 years. And I just got married. uh, yeah, remarried. I found a wonderful man of God, really good character. Um,
Mhm,
but 2
mhm.
months before we got married, um, he had a lung biopsy, and this spot on his lung was discovered completely by accident, you know, e.g., by God.
By God,
and
right.
so when he had the biopsy, it was cancer. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I thought, "God, are you gonna take another husband from me?" I and, I went there with it, and, I was kinda like, "What just happened here?"
Mm,
But, you know, flash forward several months, and, um, Tony's doing great. He had, this taken out, and no chemo, nothing, just taking that part of the lung out. It was a nodule, a lung nodule, and the doctors do not think it will ever come back.
wow.
So, and doctors don't usually say that, right?
Mhm.
And so what it did for us is it brought us so much closer to each other.
Mhm.
and to God and in a short period of time.
Mhm.
And, so there's a silver lining there. And
Mhm.
what started off as just the worst thing and the worst day of my
Mhm.
life again. And I
Mhm.
really thought, okay, I'm gonna be just besotted with bad stuff. My whole life. It's like, who am I? I'm like Job or something. And and but then, once that was done,
Mhm.
um I just, I have not been plagued with fears about it or it's going to come
Mhm.
back or this and that.
Mhm.
And I got to tell you, I mean, the Holy Spirit really came down even um, you know, when when the doctor said, "Okay, we can take this out and we think that's it." I really felt from God, that is it. That this will
Mhm.
happen. And so I didn't, you know, not that I didn't worry, but I didn't get carried away with it.
Right.
And believe me, that's only God because my brain
It's
wants to do that.
right,
It's
right.
like a pack of wild horses and it'll take off running.
Yes.
Yeah, it will. It will. I mean, we
I
call
say
it
my thoughts my
yeah,
thoughts like ants, they run away.
that's right. Yeah, and,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's why I know that is all God, and there is, there's hope, um,
Mhm.
for everybody. I mean, if God can do that and bring this back around, bring my life back around, I mean, he can do anything, really.
So God can perform miracles, guys. I just want you to listen to the pathway stories. You have your own, and God, He can in fact perform Red Sea moments in your life. But
Mm.
you
Yeah.
gotta. Well, both Deborah and I, we are hikers. We used to be runners. We can't do that no more because our knees. But for you runners, yeah, your knees protect them.
Right.
Um,
Yes.
but there's miracles. I mean, just the sky and the smells, and there's
Mm.
miracles everywhere. And he's no respecter of person. You can put your anger on him because when I heard Deborah's husband, I guess I went to him and said, "What are you doing?"
I cussed.
I was like,
Yeah, I did.
"Please."
Yeah.
I
I got really mad, I'll admit it. I mean, I
I got
did.
mad too. I got mad
Yeah.
too. And I was like, "She should be prepared for a wedding. You got this?"
It's totally, right? Like
I
the
mean, so he can hang. He's a big boy. He can
mhm.
handle your anger.
Right,
He can handle
exactly.
your disappointment.
Mhm.
He can handle your sorrow. He can handle your loneliness. He can handle it all. So,
Amen.
Deborah, I want to thank you for spending this
Oh
time
my gosh.
with me, and I'm glad. You see, I have a release called situational amnesia. See, Deborah's forgotten a lot of things. All
Yeah.
of us have gotten a lot of things. Just
Mhm.
going over your life. You don't need to go to a priest or go to church. You can just sit and think about your life and
Mhm.
how many coincidences I'm putting finger quotes in the air that occur in your life. Well, Deborah, thank you for spending this time.
Thank you,
Uh,
Deborah. I'm just so blessed and honored to be here with you. I love what you're doing, and I love this series, and, I wish you the very best. God bless.
well, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, you guys, stay tuned next time for another journey on the Hope Train. God bless. My hope is that this journey has been fruitful and you're able to take it and apply it to your life. Until next time, tune in again for the Prisoners of Hope podcast. God bless.